Good morning. It's 6:31, April 6th. Excuse me. Let my guys in. What's happening, boys?
So my guy,
There he is. How you doing?
good you?
Good, man. I see you're doing a lot of photography stuff.
Yes, sir.
Nice. How's that going?
It's going decent. I'm just doing like for fun as of now.
Okay. Just as like a little hobby.
Yeah,
Good stuff. How was the weekend?
it was fun. A lot of fun.
Hey,
We finally started getting sun, so everybody was outside and shit. That was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I saw your story. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was
Ran
a funny
around.
moment.
There you go. So we finally should have some volume today.
Yeah, finally. It's been like what, Friday, then the weekend, then Monday for like
Yeah.
Easter stuff, bank holidays.
It should be exciting. Finally getting some volume in. Holiday weekend's over. All the bullshit's over.
There we go. There's nothing much news wise today, right?
Yeah, we had a couple things. I was gonna wait for a couple people to hop in before we went over it, but we're looking at over here the EU. They're ahead of schedule when it comes to the vaccines, so they should have most people immunized by the end of June, which is positive for the euro. Obviously, as you see, the euro is just pumping up. Now, the reason why GJ, I think, fell like this is because if you take a look at Japanese currency index, it's on its way up. It formed the support and it's continuing up. Maybe it's going to form support right here and retest these highs. But also, if you look over here, the Japanese real cash earnings came out positive, which recorded their first gain in a year. So that's pretty big for Japan. But also, consumer spending is low. There's a lot of things that's bad for the Japanese economy. So you just got to keep that in mind. So I don't see any kind of sells really on GJ, even though the 4 hour looks like this. I think we're just coming down to retest this area right in here. And now this may even flip bullish, but I think we're just retesting real quick to continue up. I don't see any kind of sells on GJ really, but we just got to see. We gotta make sure that we have that we're trading everything that we see. Obviously, we have this zone right over here, previous resistance, previous support. Now we're coming down and wicking into this area right here, and then forming support here on the 30-minute. So I see any kind of buys, safe buys above 152.950. But if we do get a close below this area, more like 152.730, right below here, we could get sells right back down into this area right over here. But I'm very hesitant on taking any kind of sells on GJ. But again, we're going to trade what we see, not what we think.
Yes, sir. I was just not sure about that 30-minute structure to the left.
Right over here?
Well, I mean, this one looks decent, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to take any kind of sells on a pair like this or any kind of risk pair where a lot of stuff is already priced in. Economies are starting to open back up a little bit. Boris Johnson came out yesterday saying that he was going to open up the economy to people that are getting vaccinated and can prove that they have a negative test. They're going to have a little bit more freedom. So that's positive for the pound. I just don't see any kind of sells in here. We could very well come down and correct some of this move. Maybe create a bearish candle over here on the weekly. But we could just be coming down to retest and then continue bullish to retest these highs.
Yeah, we could form like a bigger downwick on the monthly as well, because I think that the downwick is very small. I don't know if that has something to say, but
well, I mean, you got most of the monthly candles have smaller bottom wicks, right? Besides these two, the last two have had smaller bottom wicks, and we've just been pumping up. And I really do think we're coming up to 155.
Yeah, that looks like it.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to take any kind of sales. We have a support formed right over here on the what is this, the weekly? Perfect support. Maybe we're coming down to retest this area where this wick is, and then continue bullish to retest these highs. Got the daily over here, obviously forming resistance, but are we just coming down to retest these levels over here before we continue bullish? Again, it's pretty hard for me to take any kind of sells, but we did pass the low of this candle, but this candle also passed the high of this candle. So are we going to range in here? Which is what we're doing right now. But I do see the 4 hour. Look at this. The 4 hour, like I was saying, could be flipping bullish. But we're getting any kind of safe buys above this level right over here. I think I just moved it.
Yeah, but had the same resistance right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm waiting for right now. We got a clean move to the left. We could correct that whole move, and I think that move really came from that Japanese news, like I was just pointing out. Yeah, their real cash earnings came out at plus 0.2, which if you look over here, previous was 0.8, negative 0.8. Now it's negative 0.2, better than forecast and better than previous.
I had a feeling that the consumer spending would have like a bigger impact because the number was bigger than the cash earnings. But I guess the cash earnings are more important than the consumer spending.
Yeah, because people are earning that money, and the consumer spending could always be credit too. But people are earning money; they're bringing money in. So I look at that as a stronger indicator than consumer spending. But consumer spending is huge. So is GDP. It's GDP is in a whole other realm. What's up, Nathan? You're forward, Gary, Chris. What's up, boys?
What's up, Steph?
How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Morning, fellas.
Actually, before I gotta message you privately. We have our Zoom at 10, right?
Yep.
All right. Hold on 1 second. There we go. So, Chris, what's up, man? Nathan, you must be a little wiped out, huh? About 40 miles?
Jeez, man. Oh, well, no, it was actually 40 kilometers, which is like 26 miles.
Oh, okay.
But still happy. I think we needed to do like an extra 20 kilometers in order for it to be 40 miles. But it's not bad.
It's still 26 miles, pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So
a good trip for me is around 22 miles. And the only reason why it's 22 is because it's like perfect geography of where I want to go. We got Sandy Hook all the way up Ocean Avenue, stuff like that. But yeah, as I was just breaking down on GJ, I'm not looking for any kind of sells over here until we do break below 152, 730. Right below this area right down here, because we have strong rejections, previous resistance, previous support over here. And I'm not looking for any kind of sells until we break below here. I think we're just coming down and retest this area over here, grab liquidity, and we're going to head up and retest these highs up here. I think this move came, I was just explaining to Mana, from the positive earnings, average cash earnings coming out of Japan. Also, if you take a look at the Japanese currency index, we're forming support right over here. Remember how bearish we've been? I mean, their economy's been pretty shit, but we're finally forming some kind of support over here. So are we going to form support right now, right over here with this positive news coming out to retest that high? That very well could happen, but again, I'm very bearish on the Japanese yen, but we are forming support over here. So I'm looking for buys above this level right over here at 152.950 so that we could correct this move and continue up. Like I said, I think we're just grabbing liquidity over here and we're going to continue up. The euro, the reason why we finally pushed through this resistance right over here with a strong move is the EU. They're saying that they are going to be near virus immunity by the end of June when they're above target when it comes to the vaccinations. They think they're going to have most people vaccinated in the EU in the major countries by the end of June. So that's obviously positive for the euro. But I'm waiting for maybe kind of like a retest of this support, form support over here, and then continue bullish. We have a resistance right over here on the 4 hour. Where are we? There we go. So we have this resistance right over here for the euro before we continue bullish. I have this zone marked up at 131,500, like to the left over here, about 100 pips away for that, which this is the next target. We got about a clean move over here to the next resistance right here, and then you can also move this right over there as well, right? So we could be coming right up to 131,500. I'll just make this like a big zone so that we know that's pretty significant to come up into. 4 hour. Do we have any pit stops on the way? Got a big order block, big consolidation over here. Obviously, we're in the downtrend when price was in this area, but I do think price is going to push through this right into these wicks up here and right into this area. If we do break above 130, let's see, where are we right now? 13600. But who knows? Maybe we get some kind of retest in here. Should have plenty of pips to play with. About 20 pips. Maybe a safer buy will be above this resistance over here on EJ. I haven't actually taken a trade on EJ in a while. It's been all GJ and gold. Now gold, if we take a look, I'm pretty bullish on gold. Now if you look over here, price has been in this downtrend over here, right? Been in this downtrend, retesting these lows over here. But now what we did was we retested a previous low on the higher time frames, right? 1600, very significant level. So price came all the way down. Obviously, when price creates these lows over here, it makes those corrections of the entire move. So right over here, it created this low in this area at 1680 and then corrected the entire thing, about 50% of it from this resistance right over here. But what happened was it never broke the low of the previous lows at 1600. We never broke below. We corrected this entire move. And we're right back into this order block right over here. So what I see over here, hold on one second, is this bearish trend over here on the 4 hour. Price has been in, it's been respecting it. Now it broke above it. Gary actually pointed this out yesterday, but I don't see any kind of sells on GJ right now, not GJ, on gold right now. Even if we come down into this area, I think we're just going to be grabbing liquidity to continue up to retest these highs up here. So I'm just waiting on a possible, obviously, scalp entry, but I want to turn scalp into a swing so that we can catch this move up to this area right here. See this wick rejection right there? This previous resistance? I want to see some kind of support formed in here. We're respecting this trend over here, but I want price to close above this area and we could come up and retest these highs up here, and then we could turn that scalp into a swing trade right up to 1746 So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. If we break below this area, we could be coming right back down into here. But, you know, you're printed sideways at that point. You're coming right back into the range. but we'll see what we get over here. Are we just grabbing liquidity? These candles are getting weaker as they come down. Are we going to form some kind of support, come right above this area, and then continue up to retest these highs? So we're just waiting for that on gold right now. We're just, putting sideways over here, barcodes, wait for price to close above this area for any kind of buys. But safe sells are going to be below 1720, as I was saying yesterday. See what GJ is doing. It's reacting to this area over here. So you don't have many pips to play with if you did want to take a sell. If you see price reacting to this area, again, we trade what we see, not what we think. So if you see price closing above this area or reacting to this area, forming a resistance, you only have about 14, 15 pips to play with. So safe sells are going to be below this area, 152.730. But just be aware when you get into that area, very significant area from 1730 to 152.200 to 152.730. Keep getting my prices mixed up with gold and GJ. Anybody looking at anything specific?
I'm gonna buy GJ, but not till it closes above like 153.
153.
Just
Okay.
on the 30 minute, on the 15 minute. Well, the 15 minute, it's like just clearing those wicks or clearing those candles to the left side. But the only thing is it's forming a bearish pattern. It's creating lower lows and lower highs.
Yep.
Which is the only thing. So the safer ones would be like buying again, and it is printing sideways, so you probably wouldn't even buy at 153.200, but that's like an area where you could look at buying because the trend will no longer be valid, because it would be creating a higher low and a higher high then.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't even notice that on the 15. I was basing this off the higher time frames, but
yeah, it's just what I've seen recently is that sometimes when I buy and it looks like we're just coming back down to retest. If you actually look at the bigger picture is that price is actually forming lower lows and lower highs, which confirms that we're in a bearish trend. It could be just a minor bearish trend, but to get the bigger move and to take the safer move, you need to wait for that trend to change, and you need to wait for it to close above a specific zone. Again, it could be a zone you like or a price you like based on your back testing, but it's just something I've seen myself. Like,
you're sounding sharp, bro.
you think?
Well, you're sounding patient. It's like, I haven't really heard that as much from you, where it's like, you have to wait for price to close above this area. Stuff like that. That's awesome. That's growth.
Yeah, I think with GJ especially, it's a lot easier for me to manage my risk and manage my patience. Whereas with gold, it was just like, obviously the way it just moves so fast, like the pattern seems to be forming, and then the moment you go to action on that pattern, you're entering, and then price just wicks and you're gone, and you've taken a huge loss. Like, so, I think it's a huge thing now for me, as I said, is just kind of staying relaxed and staying composed, and using the knowledge that I'm getting from my back testing, and really applying that, rather than kind of just like getting over emotional and overhyping myself in the markets, because I think that's a huge issue. Again, it could just be for me, but I think it's a huge issue in terms of people coming to the markets and they're like start of a new week and they're in a good mindset and they're feeling physically good, and they just come to the markets and they just overhype themselves, and as soon as they overhype themselves, they get over emotional, they over risk, they over trade. You're sitting there on Monday or Tuesday and you've traded 4 times in one day and you've taken 3 losses and you've got 1 break-even trade, and they're like the small things that, like, when you compound those bad habits together, you're just on a downward, a very, very strong a train wreck ready to happen, which happened for me, unfortunately. But again, it's just seeing those those patterns and using the expertise that everyone in the group is shown from their own trades as well.
Yeah, and you touched on a point where, like, unfortunately you had to go through that, but like, look where your psychology is now.
It's sick, like it's deadly, like, and it's I feel so good at the moment, like, but like I don't even feel good like just for my trading, like I feel really good in life in general, like, and it's not like it's not like really weak foundation. So like, you know, if I was to take a bad trade or if I was to make a bad decision in life in general, like it wouldn't, you know, make me make really drastic decisions
Yeah.
because I'm starting to understand the way that when I say we, I mean like me, but I think a lot of people might do the same, the way that people think. And that is when you don't see change or when you don't see progress in a specific period of time, you're nearly willing to throw in the towel because you want to go back to your old habits because your new habits aren't bringing you any change. So you
Not
just don't
yet.
think they're
Yeah.
useful, you know?
No short-term change is what you're saying.
Look, I think like, you know, if you get into the gym and stuff like that, you know, it's just like you get into the gym and you're working out and stuff and you're feeling great, and then you look at your body in a week's time and you haven't really changed, and you're like, will I stay at it, will I not stay at it? And it's like, just have to they talked about the ice cube in a room with 25 degrees, you know, if you're putting in the work between 25 and 31 degrees, not that ice cube isn't going to melt as soon as it gets to the 32 degrees. You never really know when you're going to be there, though. They talk about, you know, if you look at someone that's up in the mountains and they're doing the big boulders and they're breaking them down and they hit the boulder 100 times, and on the 101st strike, that boulder cracks in half. It wasn't the 101st strike that made it break. It was the 100 that got it there.
Yeah.
And for me, it's all about kind of compounding all of your good decisions and your good mindset to get there, you know.
100%. Now what you were saying right there, that's what we're all about in here, and that's why I'm here is to create that, like, you want to be thinking the right way in life, and you always want to be on top of your game, always having your foot on the pedal, making sure that there you go, got a nice compliment from Chris. Dude, I love that picture, by the way. Listen, that's what we're all about in here, and that's what a true mentorship is I'm pushing you guys to be the best version of yourself. Now, it's got to be, you know, collaborative. I need you know, effort from both sides, and I definitely see it from you. But you know, together we can create the best version of yourself, not only in the markets but in life, so that you're thinking the right way every single day. You feel amazing about yourself, because that's the ultimate goal, right? It's I mean, yeah, we want to make money, we want to like do all these things and you know, have all that stuff, but like once you get the money, where are you gonna be if you don't know happiness? If you don't know how to actually pursue that happiness and sustain it in a reasonable fashion. So like that's what we're all about here. So
yeah,
I love it. And then, you know, like you said, with the temperature in the room, you know, your body is a thermostat, and the way you look at yourself, you're a thermostat. So you know, if you think of yourself at a certain temperature, you know, maybe you don't think you're worthy of making the amount of money that you can in this market. We'll use that as an example, where, you know, you'll be making a certain amount of money, or, you know, you'll get the progress, you'll be putting the back testing in and all that stuff, and you start to see a lot of money, you know, flowing in. And, you know, if you don't have the right psychology, you're naturally going to think that you're not worth making that amount. And you're naturally going to bring your temperature back down to where you naturally think you're supposed to be. That's why I always press upon you guys to think of yourself as the best right now. You know, if you think about yourself as the best right now, you're going to put that work in. And you're going to make sure that you're doing it, and you're going to stay consistent. But if you're not, you know, you're not going to feel very good about yourself if you're going the opposite way, because we're pushing for so much more in here that you got to get out of yourself, where if you're not doing those things, you're not going to feel good about yourself, unfortunately. But like, that's what you need. That's what every successful person needs. And if you're not about that, then maybe that's not the place for you. But like,
I think that it's just like,
are in here for a reason, because I know that you guys have that in you, and that I'm going to push that out of you. I'm not going to baby you, but you know, we're going to work at it together. But
yeah, I think it's like, it's just for a lot of people as well, when they think of like trading and stuff like that, they think they need to know all the fancy terms and have the fancy charts. And they, again, you could be the best trader in the world, but without the right head on your shoulders, you're just going to fail. Like, so for me, the main journey was learning the main journey for me was learning my emotions and understanding why I was feeling a certain way, and recognizing the enemy, which was myself, basically. The person that I wanted to be, or the person that I was preventing me from being the person that I wanted to be, because I was, letting silly and small bad habits compound together to completely kind of just off balance my good habits, putting in getting up in the morning and putting in work and doing a good diet. And then, just because you're eating really well and then you're making a bad decision, like, it doesn't have to be food related. It doesn't have to be fitness related. It can be as simple as, deciding to go for a beer, or deciding not to go for a walk, or deciding to spend your money on something that you don't need. Those bad habits, again, a bad habit you can have is spending money when you don't need to spend it, and or buying things that you don't need. Like, you can be a serial purchaser. You can go onto Amazon, you can go onto eBay, and you can just buy things just because it's a retail therapy, So having those bad habits completely, like, even if it's something so small as going on and buying something for €2 or $2, like that over a serious amount of time will just completely off balance your good habits, and you'll just let your bad habits get in. And that's what it's been doing for me, like, and it's stopping now anyways. And I'm still, we're always going to have like things we can get better at. There's no way there's a person in the world that'll wake up every morning and say, like, I'm a perfect person and I don't have a single bad habit. Like, eventually you'd hope you wouldn't have a bad habit, but like, everyone has their flaws. But it's about being able to work on them flaws, recognizing them flaws, knowing that they're there, knowing how to control yourself when those bad habits kick in. And you want to go out and have a beer, or go and buy something online, or go and have a cheap meal, and just knowing that that's a bad habit, and that if you can cut that out, that means that you're going to be a better person than you were yesterday.
Everyone's got that devil on their shoulder.
Everyone's
dancing with the devil in some sort of way, and it's the worst. It's the worst for your confidence. It's the worst for everything in your life, and that's why discipline is so important. Is it the most attractive? No. The way I always think about it, and what helps me, obviously, besides that 5-second rule, you're in those moments. You count down to 5. You better listen to yourself. That's what builds confidence. You guys want the key to anything in life is make the right decisions in those moments. That's it. That's all it takes. Now, for me, what helps me is I know, and I use the devil as a catalyst that gets me out of those moments. I know that he's whispering in my ear, trying to get me to do something that I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like that relationship that you have with him, and you're also listening, like, whether you're religious or not, that's going to help you. It's the same thing as like religion. Whether you're religious or not, don't you think that believing in God and believing in something, some kind of a higher power is going to lead a better life for you? Like, don't you think that's in your best interest? And I almost think faith, that's what it was really made to do. I don't know how much I believe and all that stuff. It's very hard. Maybe I just need someone to introduce me a little bit more. But for me, I've always thought that religion is kind of like that, something that just guides society and keeps society in a just believing in something, and maybe keep people in line, stuff like that. But I truly think that if you do believe in God, or if you at least try, you're going to lead a much, much better life. And that's
I think like it comes down as well as being like, like, again, when I started with you and I started to like find out things about myself and kind of uncover more, so to speak, I felt like I was like power, like I was really powerful as a person, but it wasn't like, like strong, powerful, or like mentally strong. It was like my soul was powerful. I was like spiritually empowered, so to speak. Now, it might be a silly thing and people might laugh at it, but if you feel like you're spiritually empowered and you've got someone looking down over you, or there's a force that you don't recognize or you don't understand, and it's there and it's pushing you from behind, it's really, really like motivating. It makes you want to find out more about yourself. And it's the little things as well.
100%, and that's why you need that momentum to actually get you in those moments. There you go, Gio.
Yeah, sorry, fellas, I'm completely rambling here.
No, man, it helps people a lot. When you
Didn't
start
know I
your
was on a
morning with a
psychology
conversation
lecture
like
this morning. Like,
yeah, when you start your morning like with like a conversation like this, it's something that it's gonna lead you in a much better place.
yeah,
Now the 30-minute looks like
as I
it's
said,
passing
creating
the low of the
those
previous.
higher lows, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I'm looking at some gold boys at the moment. It's kind of the exact same that you're seeing on GJ, except it's like the opposite, which is the like higher highs and higher lows, and just waiting for a break now, and I'm gonna enter.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Now the thing is, the 1 hour came up, created a higher low, and created a strong support, closed bullish on the 1 hour. So are we just coming down to form this bottom wick and coming up to retest this high and then continue bullish to right up into this area? Then we get a close above here and we retest this area up here. It's very hard for me to sell gold or to sell GJ.
Absolutely.
How do I keep getting these two mixed up so much today? I keep saying the prices for gold on GJ. Maybe it's just been a long weekend. Who knows? But yeah, it's very hard for me to. Yeah, this is what I've been looking for on gold. So we're getting that support formed.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys came in a little bit late. Anybody that missed it, but I broke down a lot of these pairs. But I'm waiting for a close above this area, and we could possibly turn a scalp into a swing, knowing that we're going to come up and retest this area and then retest 1745 if we form some sort of support here and close above this resistance. Previous resistance over here. Now we have this resistance right here, but if we close above this area on the 1 hour and we form a solid support, it needs to close above here. I was caught last week on a little scalp during Asian where it looked like it was closing above here on the lower time frames, but it barely closed above. And I should have waited for that. So now, you learn from your lessons. Look at these candles too. Strong bullish candle right here. Grab liquidity, close a strong bullish candle. This candle came down and rejected this area. But look at these wicks over here.
Yeah, it's just pushing its way in. Like and again, gold can just take off here. It's just one of those things. But you're just better off waiting for that close. Like a lot of people, as soon as that price passes those wicks, there's so many people that would just take the entry there because they recognize prices pushing back upwards. But like so gold's people. Just
you mean
evil.
You 3 weeks ago?
I was on a tear a few weeks ago. Like, it was crazy.
You've grown a lot, man. Love seeing it. So yeah, I'm waiting for this candle to close over here, maybe on the 15-minute or the 30-minute. But this could be a good opportunity to take gold on the way up.
Yeah, I'll be on that
highs. If you look at the 1 hour, see these wicks? These wicks are these bottom wicks are all higher lows. Right? Form support, close bullish right here. Now you could have taken something after this candle closed bullish, but that would be a very risky buy.
Yeah,
you very well get rejected. So you might as well wait for this candle to form and close above that area before you take anything. You don't want to be in these barcodes. Wait for a price to exit the area, and then you got a clean move to the left. You got about almost 50 pips right here. So I just want to take a couple screenshots, which I highly recommend you guys do the same.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, we're creating higher highs and higher lows. This could be a nice swing opportunity for at least like an intraday swing.
Mhm.
But again, we need to wait. Gold is a motherfucker.
Oh, having nightmares still.
Yeah, it just makes you sick, doesn't it?
What are we looking for?
Yeah, this thing could just wick down and take it right out.
Yeah. GJ is really interesting as well, because if it's creating that downward trend, but we're still in an uptrend, like, you know, if you look on even on the, we're still in an extremely bullish movement, like, so interesting.
Yeah. They go right back to it.
Mm.
Just don't like having all these tabs here. Yeah, GJ's I don't know if it's gonna come back into this range, and if it does, I'll act accordingly. But I don't want to get stuck in something like this
Mm-hmm.
where you don't have much room to play with. Maybe about 20 pips in here, but I'd much rather wait for price to come back into this area for any kind of sells, or price to break above this area for a buy, so that we can grab that swing in the beginning of the week. But maybe we're coming down to create some kind of low, or retest these lows down here to create a support, and then come up and retest that high. As we've seen, since you guys first came in here, I've been pointing out how GJ creates that high, comes down, creates a support, and then comes up and retests that high, or consolidates to retest that high.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's retesting this area right over here. Let's see what we get. Looks like EJ is coming down to retest this level. Maybe we create a support and come back up to retest 13600. See if I have magic keys all set up and everything. Yeah, there we go. What did you guys do this weekend? Anything eventful?
Nothing from me, just Easter. There was loads of rugby on, so we were busy watching that.
Oh shit, Matei's in here.
Yeah.
Gio, what's up, boys?
Hello guys.
Gary.
Hi then.
What's up,
Hey,
brother?
man.
How are you?
Great. Anyone in GJ sales?
No, I was. I didn't see the range right over here, and it's hard for me to take any kind of sells on GJ right now
Oh yeah.
until we break 152, 730. Almost did it again.
All right.
How about yourself?
Yeah, I took the sales.
Nice.
1 hour candle closed. I used only 50% of my standard risk because my stop loss was smaller.
Oh, did you take them from up here?
No. Just with this current candle.
Okay.
So I used a smaller risk because my stop loss is small, so value per field goes up.
Smart.
And I closed 50% as broke the low, the previous candle in the first minute, and then came back to my entry.
Nice. Okay.
So the rest is running in profit right now, around 7 pips.
Good risk management, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm securing partials to 10 and then it's run to the H1 low.
Yeah, this could be a good swing opportunity on gold over here.
Steph, see the Knicks lost last night?
Brutal.
I know.
Oh,
Shouldn't miss that jumper.
dude, they give who? Julius?
Yeah, man. I was like, what the hell? Like,
They've
Come
given the
on,
Nets
man.
a run for their money all year.
absolutely.
It's brutal, man.
They've had a tough few weeks now, a few days.
Yeah, they've been on. I mean, they had a bad game, or they had like a 3-game losing streak, and they came back strong against the Pistons. They beat them by
Yeah.
like 40 points. Came back hard, and they came back hard this game too.
I thought they would have won. Well, I thought they were going to win when I
Yeah,
seen
they
it.
were up by 10 like the whole game.
Yeah.
Kyrie just pulls everything out of his. I went to a party with Kyrie.
No way.
Yeah, man. Back in
Really?
back in high school. No. Yeah, it was back in high school, like freshman or sophomore year. He went to St. Pat's, and a buddy of mine's older brother, who was also my buddy, but he was Kyrie's backup at St. Pat's. It's a very prominent basketball school in New Jersey,
Mhm.
and he came to a party one night, and we were just chilling, slept over, and we were just all chilling in the morning. It was pretty crazy now looking back on it. He went to Duke the next year for 6 months, and then he was in the NBA after that.
That's mad.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, he was a good dude. He's a thinker though. Like he thinks in depth about everything.
Yeah, there's some players are extremely reflective, so they'll really sit down and they'll nearly overanalyze everything,
Mm-hmm. And that's him. I mean that's not how he was back then, but now he's just you just go through a lot in life. A lot of people you meet. Being in the professional world of sports, it's just. And then obviously he's got, he's very involved with the community and social issues, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not taking that gold trade just yet. Just with that close, I was hoping we'd close above 1733.9, but we didn't. We closed at a little bit lower. And GJ's gone to the races now.
Yeah, there goes GJ. He didn't have much to play with over here.
No.
Yeah, if you take a look at we're folding support over here. Wow. Good shit, Matei.
Nice,
Anybody else
Matei.
take this?
Thank you, man.
I kind of came too late to it, to be honest. I think that there wasn't a clean entry earlier on.
Yeah.
And where Matei entered, again, it's pretty aggressive. it worked out perfectly. But it's like, at the moment for me anyways, considering everything that's happened, like I want to try and get those safer entries instead of these aggressive ones.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I secured almost everything. I'm leaving the runner. My daily target is at 152.450.
Savage.
Think about that.
There you go, buddy. So I'm going to take this gold entry based on the 15-minute candle closing above. But I am anticipating, like I'm going to secure right up here, but I'm anticipating price to continue bullish. But I just want to do another rundown of four-hour looks good. Got it, Gary. Nice. Good discipline.
Uh,
15-minute candle closed above. Okay.
I'm gonna just wait on gold for the moment. I think I like your entry, but I'm just with it closing above that zone. It is nice. The only thing is, I'm just gonna wait for it to pass the wick on the left hand side, and I'm gonna take that impulse entry up.
Nice. Okay.
I wanted it to close a tiny bit higher, which is the only thing I wanted just to close a bit higher, but I think it's still pretty valid in terms of where we have it at the moment.
Yeah, I'm doing dynamic risk right now. I'm just entering 1% right now, and then we'll just
Yeah, I'm gonna enter as it passes where the 117.34.75 is where I'll take the entry if it comes up there. Where's your stop down at 1732.3?
It's below these candles right over here.
Oh, those candles, okay.
Yeah, my stop loss about 104 pips away.
What's your TP at 1740, or is it the big one?
Shit. Why is this so annoying? TP is at 1744.
Okay. You spoke to Giovanni at all?
No, he was in DR, wasn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was back on Sunday, though. I just haven't heard from him.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
Dude, trading view is so annoying sometimes. Yeah, Giovanni went on a little vacation, got a little relaxed.
Yeah, I'm in on gold. Just took the entry there just as we fill the way to the left.
Awesome.
So we'll see. Spread on gold is a bit strange at the moment. Like I'm like 4 pips away or 4 pips down at the moment.
So I just entered dynamic risk. So as price passed the high of that wick right there, I entered a second position. I do think we could come down and retest that area, but as long as we stay above that support, we should be good.
Yeah, if we close below like 1733.5, I'll probably close 50% just because that will be back in the zone or back in that range that we were in already.
Mm-hmm.
If we close where we are at the moment, just above those wicks, then there's no reason why we shouldn't be heading back up. But again, obviously,
We got a clean move to the left.
exactly.
Here, I'll be securing right at 1737 670. Maybe 1737.
Yeah, I'll be on that one too as well.
Yeah.
Back in a second.
Looks like GJ's reacting to that level. I was talking about 1730. Maybe reforming support at some point. Maybe coming in. Something like that could very well happen. But we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. It's just what I'm seeing. Especially if this closes like a weak bearish candle. And then we get a pass of that candle to the high. Could be continuing. But if anyone got the 10 pips on that, congrats, guys. That's awesome. Start the week off strong, huh? Jaden,
What's up, bro?
how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, man. You have a good Easter?
Didn't do too much, but it was good.
Kind of stayed low key.
What'd you do?
Stayed low key as well. Spent a little time with family, but Meg has COVID, so she had to stay back. But made her some lamb and the typical Eastern meal.
Nice. Is she almost better?
Yeah. The symptoms are much less. But the funny thing is, she has that cough that I had, which makes me think even more that I had it.
Could be.
I know. I gotta get this antibodies test. I gotta find out. Let's see if Quest Diagnostics does that shit. Have you taken any trades this week yet?
I'm looking to take a riskier buy right now on GJ.
Yeah, I see. That's exactly what I was looking at. Not a buy necessarily. I'm waiting for price to close above this area over here, right? For any kind of safe buys, but I don't see sells on GJ at all.
Yeah, and I was looking at EJ sells.
EJ sells, okay. Now what's leading you to EJ sells?
That's a really strong level of resistance that it just came to, and now it's creating like that doji. So
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a short term sell.
Sure. Yeah, they got some positive shit coming out.
If it breaks that high, it's flying. But
yeah, it looks like they got a lot of positive stuff coming out about vaccines. Finally getting on top of their shit. So it should be interesting. I'm in gold buys right now. Let's kind of let this thing ride. Hopefully. Gio, what are you looking at this morning? I know you can't talk, but you're probably just looking at GJ. Yeah, I don't see any sells for GJ until we get below 152, 730.
Sorry, just have to step out there for a minute.
All good, bro. Was that the job?
It was.
Nice. And?
So remember the job I told you I didn't get?
Yes.
They've come back and they're basically looking at me again now. They said I was wrongly rejected.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy. We'll see what happens now. See what they come back and say.
That's awesome.
Isn't it? I was so surprised. They were like, yeah, you were wrongly rejected. They're going to proceed with a second round interview. So yeah, some nice. This should be a nice payout on gold. But again,
should be. We could get that retest, but
did you catch 10 pips yet? No.
I didn't secure yet.
No, I haven't even. I'm still in slight, like, I think I'm 2 pip drawdown, 3 pip drawdown now. I had the late entry though, as it passed the candle at the previous, just because I wanted the double confirmation with 1 closing above the zone and 2 filling the wick to the left.
Yeah, we could just be forming a bottom wick right here for the 30-minute.
The one thing that it's good though is that its price isn't just like extremely like all over the place, you know, the way golds can sometimes be, you know, with the open up of a 15-minute candle and it just shoots up, you know, 7, 8, 9 pips, and then it just falls straight back down, like, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see what we get. 30-minute could be just forming its bottom wick, continue up to retest these highs. Probably close one position right up here.
Yeah.
Leave the other one just running. Oh shit, Geo's in gold as well. Okay.
Yeah. Based off the 5-minute.
Yeah, I like it. Been watching gold enough now. Time to start executing low lots, which is awesome. Good shit, Geo.
God. Dude, it was so cold this morning on the bike. Like, I went out and it was like, it felt, I looked at my phone and it was like, feels like -2 degrees. And I was like, oh my God. Got on the bike and I couldn't find my gloves anywhere. And I was like, hopefully it's not as bad as it looks. I went outside and I was just breathing, and the, like, you know, the way it does that, so I don't know, condensation or whatever it is. And it was like, got on the bike and I was like 5 minutes down the road, and it was like my hands, I couldn't even feel my hands. I was trying to change gear and I was like, I couldn't even change gear. I was trying to pull the brakes and I couldn't pull the brakes. So I was just free falling.
Oh man.
We've had crazy weather here recently.
Just cold.
Like last week, this weekend, we were like, you know, 60 degrees Fahrenheit and like 65 degrees Fahrenheit. We had like such nice sun, and then we were told the weather was going to change on Sunday, and it just got so cold yesterday, like, and then cold today as well. Like, we're supposed to have snow.
Get out of here.
We're supposed to have snow.
Yeah.
Like, we're in April.
That's nuts, man. I don't understand.
Oh, it's Dublin for you.
Let's see.
I have a question for the stop loss.
Sure.
For gold, why isn't the stop loss at 1730.86 instead? Like, because I'm on the 30-minute and I see that there's like wicks below, yeah, like around 17, yeah, like right there. Like, why would the stop loss be there instead?
Yeah, it was just it's a good point. I was just doing a more conservative stop loss, anticipating price to just continue bullish. But if we come into this area, you know, I don't want to just get like wicked out real quick, because I am gonna cut my losses short and close like 50% if we come back into this range over here. But I don't want to get like wicked out real quick around this area, and then price just continues into my direction. So
is that because gold moves really fast?
Yeah, if this was GJ, my stop loss would be right here, or even like right over here.
Okay.
But gold, knowing gold, it's just being a little bit more conservative.
Sounds good.
Do you think it's important to, like, if I'm like looking at I'm looking at gold right now and I'm in a gold trade, and then I look at GJ, and there's a setup that I like in GJ, and having a gold and a GJ trade open at the same time, do you think it's a bad idea?
I don't think it's a bad idea for like someone that is just on top of their shit. Like that might be.
I don't mean it as in like I'm going to take both trades, but I'm just asking, just in general, like if you had a trader who was trading with you, and you know, I don't know, like everything looked, they were doing well, and they wanted to, would it be a good idea, or would you ever yourself have a GJ trade and a gold trade open at the same time?
I have before. And you know, it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. And it's kind of like hedging your other play. So
yeah,
it's like you want to master certain things before you get to that. Like that's
absolutely
like another level, you know, like, and I'm not saying that, you know, don't do that, but I'm saying like, you know, that could be a point where you could get to.
Yeah. Well, I'm focusing just on, you know, one trade at a time, one day at a time,
Yeah.
not, multiples. But I was just asking because, if you've got people that are having like, I've seen people with multiple trades open at one time, they might have two gold trades and a GJ trade and a GBP USD trade all open at the same time. Now they might be runners or they could be, just open, but I was just wondering.
Yeah, I think if it's a little bit better, and Gio just brought up a good point when it comes to risk management. When it
Yeah.
comes to that, now I think like if you had a runner on gold, like let's say we reach this high up here, and you secured a certain percentage, put your stop loss at break even, and then you see a setup on GJ later on, because that's an hour after you made this decision. By the time it gets up to here. So, you have some space between there where you have one trade at risk free, and then you have the other one just running, or you have the other one you're about to enter. It's like, all right, maybe you can handle that. But that's where you want to get to emotionally and psychologically, where you can handle stuff like that. But it's really it's another level.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, because again, I've seen when you see other people trading and stuff, and they've got multiple positions in multiple pairs open at one time. You wonder whether or not eventually you might get there, but at a beginner or at an earlier stage, would you ever look at having both open? Which is
absolutely. No. And for now, the best thing you can do is just live back test it. So
exactly.
If you see a trade for GJ, you take one on gold and then watch the other one on GJ and let that thing play out.
Yeah, a little paper trade,
And if you keep seeing it over and over and over again, because every trade is different, every scenario is different. Nothing is identical. Nothing is related. Nothing. So it's completely different from another trade. And I know many people that are trading multiple pairs at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And it just comes with experience and comes with seeing those pairs enough. Those people have been trading 3 or 4 years that know exactly what they're doing. So it takes just some time to see enough of it.
Yeah.
So I'm at 10 pips on gold on one of them.
Nice. I'm like 2 or 3. I'm like 3. Well, I'm like 5 pips now.
I love how you guys say 3. I got that from McGregor.
3.
My 3-piece. My 3-piece suit.
You're 30. You're 40.
30 years of age. Prime of my life. Now, I want to see the 1 hour.
pips.
Always be taking screenshots of certain things throughout your trade. Like I took a screenshot of this candle creating its bottom wick, and then I took another screenshot of it flipping bullish and passing the high of this candle right over here. Just so you have an idea, and you can just run through the screenshots down the road when you get back to that.
What time did we take that trade? That was at 12:21.
Get GJ pushing.
Be doji close maybe on hold on the 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So close bullish.
Yeah, I like the idea on gold. That's a nice trade.
Yeah. Just gotta sit back and wait. It's more of an intraday trade. Let's see.
You securing at the top?
I'll be securing right over here,
Perfect.
and then letting the rest just run.
All right, perfect.
Probably at break even, or maybe move my stop loss right over here. We'll see.
Dude, I was so hurt about the March Madness championship.
Oh, who won?
Baylor.
Baylor won?
They destroyed Gonzaga.
Wow.
Like they just manhandled them from the absolute jump.
That's awesome. I mean, what, did you have Gonzaga or something?
I'm from Spokane. They're from Spokane.
True. Yeah, it's tough.
The whole city was prepared to go nuts. Like couches were ready to be burned, but
Damn. Were you up all night watching it?
it got over at like I don't know what time it didn't get over late.
Yeah, I mean their buzzer beater the other night was insane.
I don't know.
We could be coming down to retest this area. Got a strong, healthy, bullish close on the 30-minute.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing is that 30-minute that we're on at the moment already has its top wick, so whether or not it's coming back down.
Mm-hmm. But I'm
You weren't
saying
liking
we
what?
did it. What's up,
Were you not liking what EJ looked like?
EJ? Over here?
Yeah.
I was already in gold. I'm not gonna. Wasn't gonna take this. Are you in cells?
Yeah.
Nice. I want to see.
I sent my markup on the Slack in the analysis.
Oh, nice.
breakdown.
Oh, okay. I like it. This was based on the 5-minute. So you entered based on like you entered right here or over here?
Yeah, I entered on the break of that schematic, that like consolidation. That's why I have the box around it.
Okay. I like it. Oh, so right here?
Yeah.
Got it. Nice. Anticipating price to just come right back down into this area?
Yeah.
Got it. You could be correct in that move. I want to see. Wow, look at GJ. So we're coming below that area I was talking about, 152, 730. So maybe get a retest of this area. Could take it continue down to 152, 550. That's interesting. Could be coming into this area right over here to retest, form support, and then continue up. But it's the start of a new quarter as well. So we could be getting that pullback. Let's see the 3 month. Wow. The gold over here on the weekly past the high of this pullback right over here. So we could be very well heading up. That's why I'm on this 30-minute candle flip bullish. Let's go gold. You guys pumped for this challenge? Jaden's in it, Mateo's in it.
Yep.
I think everyone in here is in it. Let's see. Send the weekly result. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Gary. Just gonna do.
Okay, so we just take a screenshot of the MetaTrader.
Yeah, and just send it into the growth challenge, and we'll
Perfect.
I'll update your percentage growth.
Great.
There you go.
I just secured. Gonna leave that my stops. I'm gonna leave my stop where I was. I'm not gonna bring it in just yet. I'm gonna wait till we hit maybe like 20 pips, and then I'm gonna secure an extra 50%, and then leave a runner go.
Nice. Good job, bro. Just be patient. Waited for it. I'll move my
Good job, guys.
stop.
What do you think? Do you think I should move stop straight away, or do you think I should follow what we were talking about, or even trail it in?
Gold is different. Yeah, you want to trail your stops a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna move it in just a bit. Let me modify.
I'm just securing one right now, just because we're coming up to 8 o'clock, and we could get that pullback on the 1 hour. But I'm just gonna let the rest run.
I just moved it to where the previous fit or the current 15. Well, actually, we're nearly 20 pips in profit right now, so I'm just going to secure another %. And let's close 50 there. And let us move stops to break even. Nice. What are we at? 17.35 point. And risk free now.
That noise is so funny.
Sorry, I'm talking myself there again.
It's all good. That's, I mean, you want to talk yourself through setups. It's very calming, and it helps you just, relax in the market. Like, all right, I'm going to secure here. All right, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. I'm going to enter here, enter there.
Yeah.
You just stay in the zone. It's good.
Yeah. Jaden and Matei are lucky that they weren't here for my morning psychology lecture. So
Nah, they missed out. we were spitting.
Like Eminem here it was.
Yeah.
Pretty quick push that was on gold.
Pretty what?
Pretty quick push.
Yeah. It's that volume you get right before 8 a.m. Now the 1 hour, just be aware we could be getting that bottom wick forming.
Yeah, I'm risk free anyway now, so I won't re-enter. I moved my stops to break even when I was 20 pips in profit, and secured an extra 50%. So I've only got like a really small runner going.
Nice.
Dude, Ripple was going crazy this weekend.
Yeah, man. I literally told a few of my friends to buy into Ripple, and they all bought into it. And then the price like shot up to like, what is it at the moment? 80? It was at 80 cent last night. What's it at now?
It got up to $1.10, but it's at 98.
Almost $1.
Jesus. I was telling them to buy in. It was like 45, and then it went up to like 68, and then they sold out at like 55. And a few of them made like very small money, and I was telling them to stay and hold into it. But yeah, they didn't.
It's awesome.
All cryptos seem to be going crazy at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you know why, or is it just?
What's that?
Do you know why everything's going crazy with crypto at the moment, or is it just because people are being
Well, as far as crypto as a whole, there's just a ton of positive fundamentals that keep coming out, but I don't know why Ripple shot up yesterday.
Well, wasn't it? They still have to go through that SEC thing, don't they? Or has that gone through?
I think they're still going through it.
Yeah, because if that could, what would happen if the negative out of that SEC thing? Would they have to like delist and stuff like that?
If it came out negative?
If it came, like, what would be the negative of Ripple if in that situation? Like, would they pay fines? Would they, again, like, who would even pay fines in that? Like, who admins Ripple? And then like, would it be a delisting thing, or would it be just like simple fines?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they get completely shut down or whatever.
I was thinking, yeah, that's interesting. That'd be, yeah, because obviously if it passes it, then it's going to be even stronger, and then it's just going to continue to push up. But I wonder what happens if it came out negative. Would they have to like delist, or would it just be like fines and shit? Let's have a look. Ripple. What's the lawsuit over?
The what?
Do you know what the lawsuit with the SEC is over? What's it about? Like,
yeah, I'm trying to remember. Something to do with like securities, like securities fraud or something like that.
illegally financed the blockchain company by you raising capital through an unregistered digital asset securities offering. So they've got admins, basically, CEOs of Ripple, and they'll probably be the ones that get fined, I'm guessing. Interesting.
Justin, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Catch gold?
No, unfortunately I didn't. Oh boy.
What's up?
I said no, unfortunately I didn't. It
Oh,
looks
gotcha. You have a good
that
weekend?
looks like a yeah, how's yours?
Good, man. Sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to. What were you just saying?
No, no, it's all good. It looks like a pretty good trade you have there.
Yeah, it's more of a swing that I entered over here based on, if you look at the weekly over here, obviously we had that snapback after returning, or actually if you look at the daily, even better, creating this low over here, right? Came down to retest the low, but we never broke the lows of it. So we just snapped back, and now if you look at the daily, we're past the high of this bearish wick over here, and we should be heading up to 1745. Looking at the 4 hour as well. It looks like we came down to retest. We're in this bullish trend over here as well. The 1 hour, we're respecting this trend. And what I was waiting for, I saw this support being formed with, we came down from this area at 1738, retested this area, came all the way down, but we closed a strong bullish candle with no top wick. So these candles ended up coming down, creating weak bearish candles, creating higher lows, right? Just pushing up. So I waited for the 15-minute to close above this resistance over here, right over here. Putting barcodes over here, but the 15-minute closed above. I ended up entering right around here, and then I entered a second position as this candle, created small bottom wick, but past the high of that candle right there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's a really good trade. How many pips are you in profit right now?
Appreciate it. About 19. I already secured one position, being that we're coming up on, we already were coming up at eight pips. So I secured one right around here, around 24 pips. I was doing it based on the 30-minute. So right when we made this push right here, I just closed one of them at 24. And I have the rest running. That should be heading all the way up. I have price coming up to 1745 up here.
Yeah, I actually have the same price targets.
Nice.
But I was gonna I was looking for sells at 1745. So it was but what you have makes a lot of sense to me too, because the reason why I didn't enter in sells already is just because of that long wick to the left, and it looks like it can go to 1745, which looks like a major time frame or a higher time frame resistance. But
yeah, you're right about this. This is a very significant wick over here. And then you got this resistance over here, previous support over here. Just looks like it should be coming up there. Should be retesting this high at the very least.
Yeah, that's a great trade. When did you enter it? This morning?
7:18.
Oh, okay.
I waited for the 15 minutes to close, and I gave it a little bit of time, looked over all the other time frames, did a quick rundown of all of them, and then ended up entering. I like to look at the 4 hour strong bullish close in 55 minutes. Are you talking, Gary? Are you talking about gold or GJ? Gold, yeah. The 4 hour looks strong, creating a higher low right down here, and we should close a strong bullish candle at least on the at 9 o'clock, and then we should head up. Could be creating at 9 o'clock a long bottom wick, but that's why I didn't move my stop loss to break even or anything. I expect this to continue bullish. So we shall see. You do anything for Easter, Justin?
We just kind of hung around here, did a few things with the family.
Nice.
Nothing too major. How about you?
Same. Yeah, kind of kept it low key. Holidays have been very low key the past year.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's been weird, man.
Yeah. 'Cause unfortunately, my mom got COVID, and she's not doing real well with it. So I was trying to text to her a bunch.
Is she home right now?
No, she's in the ICU.
Oh
Unfortunately.
man, I'm
So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So it stinks, unfortunately, but
Holidays especially, it's
right. So and you know the way they are with the hospitals now with COVID, you know, they don't want anybody in or out. So it's like it sucks because you can't even go see her.
Have you saw her before she went in?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. Just gotta keep your head up, man.
Yeah.
Pray for her. I'll be praying for her.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys looking at GJ sells?
No, we're in gold buys right now. GJ is coming right back into that range. GJ loves this range over here. 152,700 to 152,200. It's probably retesting this. I'm waiting for it just to form some kind of support before we continue bullish to retest these highs. And that might be our swing for the week, Rory. You know, that we've seen this how many weeks in a row? You know, in the beginning of the week, what was it? A week or two ago, I pointed out a couple swings that you could have had. Actually, you know what? I did a full review. I don't think I finished it, but I've been doing these reviews at the end of the week and just back testing the full week. And we could have gone 9 and 1, but we could have grabbed 534 pips on GJ last week, all within one trade. I know this looks crazy right here, but if you look at this, this would have been the one sell that we could have taken. I think I grabbed this during the week, but let's see. Yeah, it would have started with this, and we would have still been in this throughout the entire week, just securing on the way up, just letting it run, and then grabbing trades on the way up, scaling in. This is how you could have scaled in, where you got this support forming, entered a scalp right here as price past the high of this wick right here. You know, you could have secured up here, let this thing run, form support over here again, enter as price past the high of this wick right over here. You know, let that thing run. And then he had another opportunity right over here after price created another support. Just making higher highs and higher lows could have continuously scaled into that. So that's what I'm waiting for on GJ over here. Some sort of support on the higher time frames, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and clean bullish candles closing in our direction, and then we could take that up. Just Jaden, good shit on the EJ sells. Gold.
Sorry, thank you.
It's all good.
Well, that Ethereum broke 2,000. You see that, Jaden?
Oh yeah.
You guys buying that Bitcoin?
Yep. It keeps
Buy and
going.
hold, baby. Only 21 million.
Wild.
Probably hit 100,000, huh?
Yeah. I think it's only a matter of time.
I think it will.
So I just secured another little piece on gold, only 50%. For hoping to hold this gold trade for quite some time.
Little gold swing.
Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, man. Let's all keep Justin's mom in our prayers tonight. I'm sure she's gonna be good. Sounds like a strong woman.
Buddy.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it, of course. That's what family's for, right?
I have a question. I've been having a hard time with Cash App, and I emailed their customer support a couple days ago. I still haven't heard anything from them. Is there like maybe a domestic broker? Because I was trying to use Ted's brokerage, Trader's Domain.
Yep.
But I mean, transferring money through Bitcoin has just been difficult.
So many people say
Are
that.
there other?
Yeah, I've never had that issue. The only issue I have is in the very beginning, they have to verify your identity. Are you past that point?
Well, I submitted all of my documents, but I haven't heard anything back as far as
So-
this is.
Yeah, I would reach out to them and see what's going on. I think they maybe have a chat feature, or you can reach out to support and ask them to verify you. Just let them know, like, all right, I sent all my stuff in. Can you just verify me real quick? And I think I had to do that. It's been a while, but I think I had to do that, and they were pretty good about it, and they verified me right away. Now, Christian had issues with them. They never verified them. They weren't able to. So, your alternative could be Coinbase.
Well, I've been Coinbase is who I used first, but
Okay.
they have been so difficult to deal with too. And I was like, and that's why I'm kind of like, oh my goodness, this whole process is so difficult.
I know,
And with your Cash App that you use, like you can transfer between your bank and Coinbase pretty easily, right? It's not you don't have to wait a lot of time.
You transfer that's pretty quick, and then even better, transferring from your broker to to either Cash App or Coinbase is very quick as well. That's why I like it. And I'll incur the Bitcoin fees or anything like that because I just look at it as a business expense, but I don't want to have to rely on a broker to pay me out.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of dirty shit goes on in our industry with brokers where they don't want to pay you out. It takes 38 or 48 hours and shit like that. It's like, no, just give me my money, and that's it.
Right.
And plus, I'm with a familiar broker. I like Ted. I trust Ted, and the main thing was that was part of it, but also the ability to trade on MT5 as well. Like I had no problem with my broker, but I just wanted to utilize MT5. I kept hearing so many good things about it. I figured, all right, I trade with Ted every day. I might as well, use his broker, try it out, and I ended up liking it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I like it too. It's just trying to get more money in there. And the first time I put money in there, going through Coinbase, they wouldn't let me transfer money, so I had to buy Bitcoin, hold it for 7 days, and then I could send it. So I was kind of at the market's mercy as far as if Bitcoin tanked a lot, then I would lose a lot. But I've heard from people that you can just send money, that you don't have to buy it and hold it and wait for it to settle, that you can just send it.
Yeah, send it right away.
Yeah, so
That's
kind of
make a little money, and then just send it right to your wallet, right to your thing. It takes not even 5 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and you see it right in your brokerage.
That's awesome. Yeah, because that's what I've been trying to do, but for whatever reason, it has been working well. But I'll reach out to
try reaching out to them. I think that should help you out.
Cool. All right, thank you.
Gotcha. Wow. So I don't know if this is true or not, and regardless of where you guys stand politically, but Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas finds social media companies do not have First Amendment right to ban protected speech, and that Section 230 is unconstitutional. That's pretty crazy.
Okay.
I didn't see that coming.
Wow. So when they ban Trump, it seems like they're gonna have to let him back on now.
Maybe. I don't even think he'll want to go back on there.
Well, I heard he's starting up his own social media platform.
Exactly.
And so he's because a lot of the social media platforms, like to get online, to actually get online, there's only like 2 or 3 companies that do it. But I guess he's creating a business that's going to be like the 4th company to be able to go online. So he doesn't have to get approved by Amazon or Google or any of that. Yeah. He can just do it himself.
You're talking about a server from a server standpoint.
Yeah. That's the word I was looking for. The server.
Amazon has the main servers. Google has servers, I think, or they run on Amazon's. I'm not 100% sure about that, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I think he's starting his own with some kind of campaign company that's actually been working on it for the past couple of years, and now they're about to launch it. I'm not too sure. Because free speech has been under attack for the past couple of years. It hasn't just been the last year.
All right. Well, because I thought that if he lost the election, that there were enough conservatives that he should start his own conservative talk show, because those talk shows, liberal or conservative, make a fortune. I mean,
You're saying like a
you know,
podcast?
yeah, well, not just a podcast, but like a network, like a news network,
Yeah,
and
that'd be crazy.
and just because I mean, remember that conservative talk show guy that died, Rush Limbaugh?
Oh yeah.
You know, he was making 60, 70 million a year,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was just, and I thought with how opinionated Trump is and how vocal he is, that would be the next logical point for him.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if he doesn't run again.
But yeah, he would have terminated, or he would have definitely breached some of their kind of internal documentation that you obviously would have had to agree to when you actually set up your account. Obviously, reading the terms and conditions, I would have anticipated that he probably would have breached some of that. Now, I don't know whether or not they're going to have to amend all of that now based on what you've said, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting seeing what happens in the next year or so. So it's a TV show. It's a movie.
I got stopped out on gold, but Giovanni's sexy candle was there, so buyers exhausted, and
yeah.
We took it.
I closed 50% when price came back to
Nice.
the entry, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering if gold is gonna fall. I'm just gonna secure this. If
Yeah,
gold
I think
is
that's a good one.
not gonna fall, but let's see, because Janet Yellen came out and said that they're gonna do some kind of global recovery fund.
No. Good trade all the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Great
100%.
trade.
I wish it was more of a scalp. Could have been
Yeah.
more of a scalp. Now we can obviously enter this again as price closes above this resistance up here. But I'm happy with it on a Monday. Let's check this closed floor.
I'm looking at maybe a trade on GJ. I'm out of gold a while now, but I'm gonna wait and see if this market forms. It obviously creating those higher highs and higher lows. If it gets a nice counter trend breaking of it and a close of a bearish candle, then I'll probably take the sell.
Okay, I'll take a look at it in a second.
Yeah.
Gonna journal this, post it later. Okay, so that's gold. So what I'm looking at over here on GJ right now is that we're back into this range that I've been talking about, right? Now the move of the morning was this candle. Yeah. And you got to understand that, like, when you come to the charts as a scalper, you're looking to catch this candle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this was the move of the morning. It's already about 8:30. Are we going to get, you got to ask yourself, are we going to get another candle like this?
Well, generally what happens is when we get a candle like that, we always retrace back up like at least 50 to 60%. So
just about, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, if we come up here and we create a good resistance right around here, and you get candles closing in your direction, just remember you already took a trade this morning. So when you're making a lot of money, you're going to be very happy with that. Right now, that's where you got to hold back. But if that does happen, that's going to happen in an hour from now, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen anytime soon. So you have that time to reflect on the trade you already took. If you get the setup, it presents itself.
Exactly.
This is my rules. I don't know about you, but I don't take any impulse entries when it comes to my second entry. If I already took a trade, if I won or lost. So I would wait for the candles to close, especially being in the zone over here for price to come down and retest this low.
Yeah, like if you want to just jump on the 15-minute just for a quick second, I just want to show you something really quickly. So see the way that we have we've got 4 bullish candles. They're kind of small. They're packed in. They're around the 06.
Talking about right here.
So yeah, those ones. So if you draw a trend line, it's a counter trend line because obviously the direction we're moving in is bearish. So if you draw a trend line from the bottom of that, if you do it you should be doing it with the bullish candles. So if you do it from the bottom of the bullish candle instead of the bearish wick on the 15-minute, yeah, somewhere around there, and then up to the top of the bullish movement. So the top of the there as the file, or as the, again, it's on the 15-minute, but on the 15-minute as that candle, the next bearish candle closes, that's where you can take your entry, because
here.
Exactly, that's literally the entry right there. Is that as that 15-minute candle closes, that confirms that we have either formed a resistance and we've formed a higher high or a higher low. Again, obviously, if we're moving whichever direction, but the counter trend line is that when it closes and it breaks that counter trend, 1, the buyers have exhausted, and then 2, our bullish or bearish movement is valid, and we can enter there. Because obviously, if you're trading and you're looking for a sell in the market, you don't want to be selling at the bottom and then price comes back up and then continues downwards. So if you can try and catch it on the 15-minute as those, it's the ideal entry is where you've got 3 or more bullish candles in a bearish movement, or 3 or more bearish candles in a bullish movement, and then you draw your trend line from the bottom of whichever candle. You cover all of them, and as the candle that you're, whatever direction you want it to move in, as that candle closes, then you take your entry, and then it just, again, you can manage your risk based on that. A lot of them are pretty sniper, like you'll catch it and it'll drop straight away, but you have to wait for the close. Obviously, if you see just above that one, you've got 3 bullish candles, and then you've got the bearish drop. You can't take the entry there because, or well, you could take the entry, but you need to wait for the close of the 15-minute candle, so you wouldn't have actually caught that move.
Yeah, you need to wait for this close.
You need to wait for a night. Again, it's a nicer close. I don't think you probably would take an entry after a 20 pip drop. That's a nice drop. I think it's only like, 8 to probably 7 or 8 pips drop, and you've got a nice bottom wick to fill, and then just take that entry there. But as we can see on the 15-minute now, that analogy of forming those 3 bullish candles before you sell, that's not going to happen now, because we've taken the drop. So that'll be me finish for the day, basically.
And we could definitely be, especially with volume and the way we have some bearish pressure over here, we could definitely be coming down into this area.
Oh, absolutely.
But the thing is, a lot of people see this move, feel like they missed out on it. They jump in right here on an impulse entry, and then they just get stopped out. And that's the problem right there, where in reality, they really missed the move right here. This was the move. You're really going to sell the low down here?
Yeah, well, it's a
top wick.
It really does depend on your strategy, because if your strategy is that you want to counter trend, you're not going to take the impulse entry. You know what I mean? And then obviously, if you're sticking on impulse entries, you probably would have already caught the move. You're never really going to take an impulse entry when the price has moved like 40, 50 pips, in the last few hours.
Exactly. Let's see. So we got gold right here. Wow. Good shit, Jaden.
Thank you.
Got a fake out right there. Are we retesting this bullish trend that we've been in?
Go look at the picture I sent in the Slack.
That's awesome. So you grabbed this? You're still in this?
Yeah.
Nice. Dude, that's picture perfect. That's honestly almost like weird.
I know. I'm trying to train my eyes to see that more and more. It's like so cool when it plays out.
Just keep going back and forth. Like, all right, my eyes are trained. That's awesome. Good shit, man.
Thanks, bro.
Read James's. $65.44. Do you guys track your income and expenses?
Of course.
Nope. I need to.
Oh yeah. So important, man.
I really don't track the income, but the expenses, like I have a budget in terms of, you know, what my max budget is weekly for grocery store or going out to eat, or, you know, just different things like that.
Yeah.
Just to stay on track.
Absolutely. You ever hear what you track grows? You ever hear that saying?
What do you I don't think so.
So the general rule is, especially like in business, but whatever you track normally grows. So if you're looking at your money every single day, you're looking at your income every single day, you're either watching it grow, making sure that you're making sure it's growing, you know, finding other sources of income. Obviously you have one when it comes to trading. Maybe it's not there yet, but it will be, but that's what you're working towards. Same thing with like money management, super important when it comes to, you know, how do I manage, even if I get $1 coming in, how do I break that dollar up into different accounts, right? But, you know, the more you look at your money every single day, the more it's going to grow. And if you, most people, and from what I've seen and, you know, from what I think, looking at society and everything, most people are afraid to look at their money. They're afraid to look at their bank account, and it's a dangerous place to be in. It sucks being in it. I've been there. But you know, the more you look at it and you train yourself to look at it, the more you're going to be taking action to do something about it. It's the same thing with, like, if you lose momentum when it comes to, you know, doing the things that we want to do, working out, back testing every single day, doing all that stuff. If you lose momentum, the best way to grab that momentum back is to just take action. Just throw your phone on the other side of the room and just back test. That's how you get back into the rhythm. You know, that's how you gain your momentum back. But the same thing with tracking your money. The more you look at it, the more you organize it. You look at all your credit cards. What do I owe on this? What do I owe on that? What's the interest rate on one of these credit cards? And what should I be paying off first? What's my investment account at? What's my emergency fund account at? And the more you do that, the more you're going to make sure it's growing and finding other sources of income to make sure it grows. Just like that rule, I always say you should be able to live on 55% of your income. You know, that should be your expenses. And if it's more than that, and if you can't live on 55% of your income, you create other sources of income to get there. And that's more for the average person. For you guys are already working on that other source of income, right? So you're on the right track. But the more you track your money and always be looking at it, making sure that you know, you're tracking what comes in, what goes out. You know, as soon as you leave the grocery store, you're uploading your little database that you have. Or if you know, a good practice when it comes to using a credit card and building credit is to pay it off as soon as you use it. So if you use your credit card at a grocery store, as soon as you leave that store, pay that expense off right away in your credit card. And that's going to build your credit up and make sure that, you know, you have a good practice going, because most people let that debt accumulate, and it's not healthy. I don't know where I was going with that, but just want to make sure you guys are, you know, tracking your income and making sure that's growing, because it's super important.
I think it goes alongside with like obviously seeing a lot of people seeing Matei's trading plan, obviously talk about like in depth and stuff like that, you know, and it kind of needs to apply for everything that you do in terms of, you know, if even if you know you're documenting your fitness, you're documenting your workouts, your money, your income, your expenses, you know, unless you have those in line, you can't expect to see results. So you can't expect to see your money grow if you're not planning it or you're not tracking it. You can't expect your weight to drop if you're not tracking your calories. You can't expect you to get better if you're not pushing yourself and you're not documenting, you know, I went an extra half kilometer today, or I went an extra half mile today, and I did it in half the time that I did it the day before, you know, little things like that, you know.
That's why those AARs are so important. And it's like that Field of Dreams quote, you know, if you build it, it will come. But like if you track it, it will grow. You know, that's always in my mind, making sure that I'm always tracking what I'm thinking throughout the day, what I'm doing throughout the day, where my money's at, where my trading accounts at, where's everything at. And the more you do that, the more in tune you're going to be with yourself, and the more you're going to grow as a person. And plus, I mean, when it comes to money, the more you track what's going out, the more you're going to be conserving a little bit and making sure that instead of that money going out, it's going more into, you know, personal growth. Instead of paying bills first, you're paying yourself first. You know, if you make $1, you're splitting that dollar up into cents into different accounts. Your long-term investment, your investment account when it comes to trading, maybe you're building an account to deposit into your trading account. Your emergency fund, your play account that you have at the end of the month, where, you know, you spend this money at the end of the month and make sure that, you know, you blow that entire thing just so that you have that taste of what it's going to feel like when you guys are succeeding. Because you want that temperature at a higher temperature, knowing that yourself as a person. Justin, you weren't here for this morning, but you always have that constant body temperature that you keep yourself at. And if you don't think you're worthy of being at a certain temperature, you're naturally going to bring yourself down. So if you spend that play account, it's only 5% of your income every single month. Below that account at the end of the month or somewhere between the month, whatever you want to do, just go out, spend it. Don't let anything don't leave anything left over, and you get that taste of what it's going to feel like when you're going out to dinner and able to spend a good fortune amount of money, or, you know, maybe get your wife something. I don't know, something. But it's very healthy for people like ourselves that are striving for much more than the average person.
Yeah, that was a great speech. Thank you, man.
Of course, man. Was that Matei?
Yep.
It's good that we have conversations like this. GJ is just continuing down.
Well, actually, when you were talking about money, I remember the video from Cardone when he said you should live on 20%.
Should live on 20%?
Yeah, I think he said that you should live on 20%. If I'm wrong.
Yeah, I you know, that's what I'm going to be striving for. I'm going to be striving for 10%, you know. But right now, I think 55% is very reasonable for people like ourselves that are striving for much more. You're not blowing money at the bars. You're not doing things, you know, blowing money on vacation, shit like that, money that you don't have. A lot of you guys think the right way. That's why you're in here. And you guys are doing the right things to put yourself in a better spot, put your family in a better spot. And if you don't have a family right now, at some point you will, and you're going to be very ready for it. You're not going to be worrying about money. Money is not going to be an issue. And, you know, most people in here, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are almost workaholics, where you embrace work. Like at some point, you're never really going to truly retire. Like me personally, I don't think I could ever actually retire. I could relax, you know, I can build my real estate portfolio and live on my passive income, go on my vacation, shit like that. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be making deals. I'm always going to be trying to trade, always going to be doing stuff like that. Like that's just me. That's who I am. That's what makes me happy. Some people, it's, you know, that may not be the case, and that's fine. But for me, it's, you know, you're always striving for something more, always putting your foot on the pedal.
Yeah, it's the same way because I mean, the retirement doesn't mean anything, you know, because I love doing the things I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that is retirement to you.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean anything, you know, because I like things that I'm doing right now, and I just want to continue doing them, no matter the success, no matter the money.
Yeah,
Just want to continue doing them.
I heard this one quote. I forget who it was. It honestly might have been Trump, but he said, like, to me, work is going on vacation for 2 weeks and not doing anything. He said, like, work is, you know, life is vacation. Like, this is what I love to do, making deals in real estate, or, you know, doing what he does, or anybody I'm sure thinks like that as a successful entrepreneur. You know, honestly, for me, vacation, I love vacation, but you know, that's not work to me. But some people are like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine going on vacation, of course, but you know, I was on vacation this summer, and you know, I went, I don't know, 3-4 days without trading, and I already missed it, you know.
Oh yeah, man.
I get the feeling like something is missing.
Vacation makes me very, very hungry. Like, if I'm gone for a week, by the time I get back, I'm like on a whole nother level of just ready to go.
Oh yeah.
I think it's also important to kind of, you know, take some time as well, take a break when to kind of refresh your mind. Now, sometimes that can be, you know, when you've taken a loss, you've had a bad month or you've had a bad week, and you need to just take a little bit of time, regather your thoughts, reanalyze, and take a step back and see, where was I going wrong? You know, because sometimes when you're doing the work and you think you have your emotions in check and stuff like that, it can all come back like a tsunami, and it can just completely like drown you out. And you'll only be looking in a one-dimensional way. You won't be looking at it from different perspectives, which is also really good to have. Like, you know, when we talk accountability and stuff like that, you know, and different friends inside of the group, you know, that they'll give you a second perspective when you sit down with them to say, okay, well, this is what you took a loss on this trade potentially because you didn't see this. But obviously, you know, as you kind of progress further and further in your trading career, accountability is obviously still going to be a very big thing, but you'll become a lot more confident, and you'll feel as though you can analyze your mistakes to kind of suit your own needs, basically. So I think obviously, you know, when you go away and when you take time away, whether it be on a vacation and stuff like that, I think it's also very, very important to do things like that, because you come back with a fresh canvas.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and sometimes you get a little burnt out.
Absolutely.
You know, and you need that. And, you know, something that I'm going to be striving for, because I'm very big into history, if you know, like, who I am, but history and geography and traveling. And, you know, I want to get to the point where I can travel quarterly. You know, I have a great quarter. You know, I make sure I earn it, and I take my family and we go on a little vacation after every single quarter. And, you know, we just finished the first quarter of the year. So it would be like, all right, you know, about 4 vacations a year, but not really vacations. Like, I like seeing shit, like sightseeing, stuff like that, going to historical places. Justin, I'll see you later, buddy.
Have a good one, Justin.
See you tomorrow.
Hey, buddy, take care.
Hey, Justin.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And especially the boot camps, you know, coming to visit you guys. And, you know, we do boot camps around the world. Got a couple guys in South Africa, you know, a bunch of guys in London, Europe. You know, we got a very well-diverse group that I'm looking forward to coming out there for a couple of days, teaching people, helping people with their trading in person, live. And you know, go there as a family. If you guys want to come, 100%, go get dinner, go hang out, go out. Be a good time.
Can't wait for that, man.
Yeah, me too, man.
Need the world to get back to normal. Then we'll
I'm looking forward to going to Norway and seeing the Northern Lights with Rory, to be honest with you, because
me too.
Nice weather.
Got him right in his backyard right there.
That's right.
Right behind him. Love him.
Come on out, y'all.
Love it. But guys, I actually have to run. I have a gotta head up to the airport right now. But great conversation today. Let's keep it up. Let's bring it in tomorrow. Great trade today on gold. I apologize if I talked anybody out of GJ, but it's very hard for me to sell these risk currencies because global economy is coming back to normal. But that's a classic example of trade what you see, not what you think. So what I'm looking for is some kind of support to be formed on the higher time frame so that I could take this up and retest these highs up here. So that's what I'm kind of waiting for. I thought that was going to happen right here based on the 1 hour, but could be happening over here. But we'll see what we get throughout the week. But with that, guys, have a great day. Remember, update your AARs. If you guys have partners when it comes to accountability, check in with them. Make sure everyone's doing good. Starting the week off right. This is the first week of the challenge. I'm really looking forward to this. Try not to focus on the challenge, though. Focus on stacking one good trade on top of the other every single day. Smart trades, methodical trades, planned out trades. That's it. Don't focus on the challenge. Reflect back on your week at the end of the week and be like, all right, awesome. Like I'm in the lead. Or awesome. I'm at 3, 4, 5%. Or maybe I'm at 15, 20%. You turned a nice scalp into a swing trade. So just stay on top of your shit, man. You guys are striving for much more. You guys have so much potential in you in these markets and also in life that you can really grab so much more out of yourself. And you just got to grab that momentum and put the action in, right? That's all it takes. Just making the right decisions every single day. I know I make it sound a lot easier than it actually is, but it really is simple. It's really simple. Just make the right decisions. Come to those crossroads. Think about, I always think about the devil, like I said this morning. If I get the devil in my ear saying, maybe you don't have to do this, or maybe you could cut your workout short, something like that. Or maybe you're feeling tired, stuff like that. No, fuck you. Like, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to get the most out of myself, and then I'm going to feel good about myself. That's where you guys want to be. So start the week off right. I know it's Tuesday. We had a little holiday yesterday, but let's keep the week going. Keep showing up every morning and getting the most out of ourselves. All right?
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
That's perfect. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Great day. All right?